Buying silk involves a deep visual romance. It catches light with a specific luster and carries heavy cultural weight, but requires a serious financial commitment. The price delta is extreme. Organzas start around 4,000 rupees, while heritage Kanjivaram exceeds 30,000. Choosing purely by color ignores material science, fabric weight, authenticity, and drape architecture. Retailers display diverse silks together, masking how these fabrics actually behave. Securing a regret-free purchase requires reverse engineering the choice. By deciding on the occasion and the preferred drape first, you mathematically dictate the exact fabric you need to buy. Buying for color instead of physics leads to specific traps. One of the most common is investing in a rigid, traditional silk and then attempting to force it into a fluid, modern draping style. Another trap involves paying premium prices for synthetic blends. These are often hidden behind aggressive marketing buzzwords that suggest a higher quality than the material actually provides. Modern wedding guest aesthetics often prioritize light, airy movement. This directly conflicts with the traditional expectation of heavy, dense silks intended for multi-generational longevity. Compromising between these two aesthetics usually results in a garment that fails at both. It lacks the density to last decades and the lightness required for comfort. Understanding fabric mechanics is the only way to protect your budget and ensure physical comfort during an 8-hour event. At the apex of the traditional market are heavy heritage silks like Kanjivaram and Mysore weaves. This investment secures an heirloom piece. These fabrics offer high structural integrity and a formal, high-status appearance. The physical trade-off is significant. Dense fabrics trap heat and restrict the fluid movements favored in modern styling. Because of the high financial stakes, you must verify the investment through label decoding at the point of sale. The Silk Mark certification is the non-negotiable baseline for a luxury purchase. It is the only government-backed guarantee that you are buying pure silk. You also need to distinguish between metallic threads. Pure Saree is woven with real silver or gold, while tested Saree uses a copper base that will eventually tarnish. A price tag exceeding 25,000 rupees is only justified if the label guarantees both pure silk and precious metal. Modern alternatives like organza and raw silk dominate the 3,000 to 10,000 rupee bracket. These sheer fabrics achieve a highly breathable aesthetic. They are the primary choice for younger crowds who value movement over traditional weight. Organza has a specific behavioral flaw. Because it is stiff and lightweight, it tends to expand outward at the pleats and lacks a natural heavy fall. Choosing raw silk means accepting a visual trade-off. You gain a matte, nubby texture, but lose the traditional glossy sheen found in standard silk weaves. While these options lack heirloom longevity, they are the most strategic choice for maximum comfort and current trend alignment. Drape architecture refers to the physical compatibility between a fabric's weight and your chosen folding style. The classic navy drape requires sharply pressed, uniform pleats that stay rigidly in place. This structured silhouette strictly requires the weight of a Kanjivaram or Banarasi silk to hold the creases effectively. However, a structured drape requires extensive pinning and significantly more time to execute correctly. Modern styling frequently uses the open pallu. This relies on the fabric trailing freely over the shoulder, rather than being pinned into a rigid block. Stiff Kanjivaram silk fails in an open drape. The material is too dense to flow, resulting in an overwhelming mass of fabric that swallows the wearer's silhouette. These flowing styles demand the low resistance properties found in soft silks, georgettes, or chiffons. The golden rule of Saree physics is simple. Never force a stiff fabric into a fluid drape, and never expect a sheer fabric to hold sharp pleats. This decision framework maps your primary priority directly to the ideal purchase. If you prioritize heritage and investment, choose Kanjivaram. Verify the Silk Mark label and plan for a heavily pinned, structured drape. If you prefer modern trends, choose organza or raw silk. Accept that these have a shorter lifespan and utilize a fluid, open drape. Following these specific branches prevents the most common source of buyer's remorse on the day of the event. A saree's value is determined by how well its material properties serve the specific demands of your occasion. International buyers shopping via WhatsApp face unique vulnerabilities. Evaluating fabrics through a camera lens is difficult. Studio lighting can easily make stiff synthetic fibers appear fluid on a screen. Because you cannot touch the material, use written label identification as a proxy for a physical test. If a seller cannot explicitly confirm the Saree purity or provide a silk mark, you should price the item as a semi-silk and pay accordingly. Mastering the intersection of label science and drape architecture ensures a successful investment, whether shopping in Bangalore or from a phone halfway across the world.